Join me today as we talk about Daredevil Born Again, episodes 3 and 4. This is the Geek Kabbalah channel. My name is Bobbie, and today we're going to be talking about the third and fourth episodes of the Disney Plus series Daredevil Born Again. So, apologize that it took me a while to get the video, so I had to do both episodes here at once. I was away last weekend at Comic-Con and didn't get the chance to film the video for episode 3, and by the time I got back and was back in the swing of things, episode 4 came out, so here we are. I'll try to avoid the spoilers until I talk about the spoilers section, so we'll get to the spoilers at some point, hopefully with not a lot of rambling, but I never know where these videos are going to go. I just kind of start and see what happens. Most of the time. Sometimes I do actually have a script on the computer, but not today. This is open because of the video I just did and the video I'm going to do after this. So, anyway, what do we have in these episodes? We have... There's not a lot of action, okay? Episode 3 is almost entirely like a courtroom drama. Episode 4 is more drama, but it's major character development type stuff for both Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk. So again, not a lot of action, no real fights. The third episode centers around a trial from what happened at the end of the second episode, and it involves the gentleman who's I think it's the end of the second episode. Might have been the beginning of the third episode. And the gentleman who's the White Tiger, who's a costume vigilante in New York. And this isn't, I don't think it's a spoiler, but I thought it's kind of funny. Matt is trying to argue to the judge as far as, I think it's the bail hearing, basically trying to tell him, well, Your Honor, he doesn't have the magical amulet which grants him his powers. And it's just like, on the one hand, this is preposterous, but on the other hand, like, I guess in the Marvel Universe, like, that might be an actual conversation you're going to have with the judge. And, you know, to his credit, the judge is just kind of like rolling with it, like, well, yeah, sure, that's just an everyday occurrence. Magic amulet, superpowers, why not, you know? So, yeah. And yeah, so that's the episode's all about that. And like I said, the fourth episode is more about some character moments, and it's a lot of like Matt is trying really, really hard to not give in and go back to being Daredevil, and Fisk is trying really hard to not go back to doing things like the Kingpin would do them. So they're both basically trying to contain the violent nature that they both have, and especially some things that happen. So yeah, the conversations are a little slower than they were in the Netflix series. Things are moving at a slow pace like parts of the Netflix series, but the Netflix series had a lot of action interspersing. So if you're here for the action, so far it was mainly in that first episode. Whereas if you're here for like character growth for some of these people, like, this is it. You know, it's happening here. And I've got some specific examples that I mentioned in the spoiler section. But yeah, so overall, I still like where things are going. I've seen people post things like, oh, it's become a woke disaster. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I mean, I'm no fan of, like, stupid messaging in either direction off the deep end. So, and I know to look for it because I know Hollywood can't help themselves. But, like, I'm just not seeing it here. So I'd love to believe that I'm not just blind to it. I know it's not the action that's blinding me to it because there's no action. But yeah, I don't know, not seeing it. Oh, God. So yeah, like I said, that's most of what I can say here without really going into spoilers. So you've been warned. That's where we're going. If you're dropping off here, which I hope you don't, because I haven't really said much, other than it's good. You should check it out. I sound like some Disney show goober whenever I say that. But if you're dropping out here, I totally understand. If you would be so kind as to leave a comment or a like or share, subscribe, any of that fun stuff, we always appreciate it. Hopefully after you watch the episodes, if you intend to, you come back and watch the rest of this. I always appreciate that too. If you're sticking around, I apologize. You're going to get that spiel at the end again. So here we go, into the spoiler zone. So we'll start with episode 3 because, time moves forward. We should do things chronologically, at least as we perceive time anyway. So episode 3, like I said, the gentleman's the White Tiger is on trial because he engaged in a scuffle with the police who were harassing a guy, and he kicked a guy off the top of him, and he went sailing right in front of a speeding subway train and got smashed and pasted. And then the other guy was like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm a cop, you're under arrest. So yeah, that guy very clearly is either corrupt or just loves beating people up or something. I don't know fully what his deal yet is. So this focus is mainly on the trial, and Matt trying to figure out, he's got the witness because he got the guy that was being beat up, but then they bring him in, and after the cop testified that he didn't know who the guy was or anything, then they bring that guy in, and he recants his story that he told them. It's like, no, I was at home drinking beer or whatever, So they figure out that they got to him. And earlier, Matt had convinced the judge to suppress the fact the guy was the White Tiger. Because he's like, look, this is clearly prejudicial. You can't bring this in. These are past acts. He's never been tried for any of this stuff. And the DA wanted to use it because Fisk wants to put the vigilantes on trial and get them locked up. Or at the very least, get them out of the city. So Matt has to go back on that later on. Is like, so are you really the White Tiger? And he holds up the mask, and it's like, just like, all right, in my chambers. And he's like, so you sat there and told me you wanted to do this. It's like, well, Your Honor, my key witness is vaporized on me here, so I had to do something. He's like, so this opens up the door to everything. He's like, I'm aware, like, what I'm doing. So they go, and he calls a bunch of witnesses, people that the White Tiger saved, and there's just an overwhelming number of people, and the DA's best defense, best potential comeback is, I'm not going to deny he's done all these good things, but that doesn't mean he didn't do this bad thing. Good people do bad things. And we never saw Matt's summation, but I have to assume that it included him being like, well, he's right. The officer that testified earlier, there's no guarantee he didn't do awful things. If that's the best he's got, well, what are we doing here? So he wins, gets him out, and now the guy's a little upset because now the whole world knows he's the White Tiger. And Matt tried to tell him, you can't go out as the White Tiger anymore, because now people know who you are. You have a target on your back. Your family have a target. In fact, you should move. So he goes out and gets, thinks he hears someone in distress, goes to check it out. Dude steps out of the shadows, and 9mm to the side of the head. Bang, he's dead. I think it's another shot to ensure that he's dead. But then as the guy's walking away, we see the familiar skull logo of the Punisher. And that's where the episode ends. So, the next episode, the guy's niece, you see them collecting his effects, including the amulet that grants him superpowers, just puts it into an evidence bag. Thing that gives you superpowers, whatever, it's fine here. The guy's niece comes and wants to see the body, and Matt's like, no, trust me, you don't. Just remember him as he was. You don't want to see that. And she's like, he died. No one's going to do anything. And Matt tries to console her, look, someone will be trying to figure this out. You just have to have faith that that his killer will be found. That's the best we can do. And it's obvious that it's gotten to him too, because he's pissed off about it. They couldn't find any shell casings. Matt goes and does his thing and finds one, and goes and confronts Frank Castle, because the shell casing has the Punisher logo on it. And I don't think Frank denied shooting him, but I don't think Frank shot him. And Matt gets kind of pissy with Frank, and Frank's like, "You're not here because of this. Like, you're here because of your friend." And Matt can't even say Foggy's name, and Frank's like, "No, I get it. Like, does he talk to you in your dreams?" Like, he's like, "My little boy does." And he tells me, "Get him, Daddy. Get them all." He's like, "That's why I do what I do." And so, like, Frank understands what he's going through. Frank has lost friends. He's lost family. He gets it. He gives Matt the hard ass approach, but then he gives him the look. I know exactly what you're going through, and you're not here to ask for help. You're here to ask for permission. He's like, Bullseye killed your friend, and you haven't done anything. He's like, I let the system work. He's like, oh, the system, the damn system. Your system sucks. He's like, you got life. And he's like, did your friend get life? And Matt, breaks down, and yeah, that's he was there asking for permission, because he wants someone like Frank to tell him, yeah, it's okay. Go cut loose. Do evil things to these evil people who clearly richly deserve it. And yeah, so at the end of the episode, like, he's up on the rooftop, like, training with his thing again, his stick with the grappling hook and everything. It's clear that it's about to be Daredevil time in the series, thankfully. Fisk is having to deal with red tape. So they go down to this port. I think it's in Red Hook. I think. Now, mind you, I know next to nothing about the geography of New York City, so I know the Red Hook is a place that's in New York. That's all I know about it. And he's looking around. He's like, look at this. This place is crumbling. Like, he's got a scale one. He's like, let's modernize this. Let's make this a thriving facility again. Like, this is the greatest city on earth. We've got wealth. We've got the banking industry and all these other industries here, but not actual industry. We don't make things. And he's like, let's make this, a warehouse and factory district, and upgrade these ports and do all these things. And he turns to his one goober lieutenant, and he's like, set up a press conference, and his other lieutenant's actually like competent. He's like, well, Mr. Mayor, we can't do that. And he's like, why not? Like, all you tell me is what we can't do. And he's like, and she like starts going through the steps, but she's going through them in reverse. Like, well, we can't do this until we've like talked to the council about this thing. We can't do this until we talk to the council about this thing. We can't do this until we put it on the docket. We can't put it on the docket until we do this. She finally gets like to the last thing. He's like, so that's the first thing we have to do? And she's like, yes. He's like, all right, then do that and get the ball rolling. And then she's like, okay, I'll get on that. And she's like, the rest of your day's full? He's like, oh, I like full days. And so then you see him later in a probably like about 5th or 6th grade class, I think. And they're singing "We Built This City on Rock and Roll" by Jefferson Starship, and like they're all off key and everything. And he's sitting there, and he's you can see like his white knuckles, and he's just like, you could tell he's thinking to himself, oh God, I wish I could tear another guy's head off with a car door again. Like, this is killing me. And so his goober lieutenant the night before had been out drinking and had said something about the unions to this girl who's got a paper and a blog and stuff. And so she wrote an article about how the unions are turning against Fisk, and it gets published, and the other person sees it, the competent lieutenant, and she's like, oh, where'd this come from? And he's like, it was me. I was drunk last night. Like, I had to have said something. And so Fisk sees it. Well, first the kids are like, oh, he's like, oh, well, good job, children. You're beautiful voices. Like, well, we've got another song. No encore necessary. Like, I have to go. Busy man. Quality voices, children. And he leaves. And he's like, oh, get me the hell out of here. So then he finds out about the thing, and he's really pissed off, and like he knows obviously there's a leak, and he's going to call a meeting with everybody. And then he's like, where are we? And they're like, well, it's the Latvian consulate. So he's like, the Latvian, why am I here? He's like, well, the Latvians. We had established earlier in the episode from a repartee that Matt has with the DAs the assistant DA, that it was Latvian Appreciation Day or something to that effect. And so she's like, well, you did win them by like 20 some odd points. Like, they're an important constituency. Okay. In his grovelly voice that he's got. So he goes and like, oh, Mr. Mayor. And she's like, oh, this is the job. And he goes and like, oh, Mr. Mayor, I'm glad you're here. And he, oh, I appreciate your support. And gets up there and like, all right, our chorus is going to sing a song for you. And it's, we built this city, but it's in Latvian. Or I apologize if they speak something, a different language there, but it's in their native tongue. And you can see he's just like, like, I could kill you right now. So then they have the meeting, and like he's being ready, like, who the hell did this? And his goober lieutenant's like, it was me, sir. He's like, don't blame anyone else, it was me. I was drunk last night. And so he tells everyone to leave, but the other woman stays, and she's like, look, whatever happens, like, he works for me, it's my fault. And he's like, well, you can go down with the ship then. And he's like getting ready to berate him, and the guy steps in, and he's like, look, Mr. Fisk, he's like, I know what you're going to say, like, and you're right, like, I don't deserve this job, like, I never have deserved this job, I don't know how I have it, and I screwed up, and that's on me, like, I should have never done anything like this. He's like, but I want you to know that no matter what happens, you have my support. I will continue to vote for you even after you fire me. And just lays it out. He's like, lays out, apologizes for everything, admits his faults, and, tells Fisk that, like, no matter what, he's still loyal to him. And he's like, all right, you're not fired. And, like, he starts to say something like, are you trying to talk yourself into being fired? It's like, then, the woman's like, just shut up. And he's like, you're not fired. Like, loyalty is a rare commodity. Like, you messed up, and to be clear, if you mess up again, like, it'll be the last mistake you make. And I'm sitting there like, he didn't say be fired. Like, this is a guy who's murdered people. Like, you might want to take that as a very serious threat. But he knows the guy's legitimately loyal to him, and he's like, you'll become a good man one day. I'll help you get there. So yeah, so he's still around. I hope for his sake he doesn't screw up again. And then there's the bit with the counseling with the Kingpin and his wife, Vanessa. And the woman who's their shrink, Matt, is sleeping with her. So she can't tell him about her clients. So she's the counselor to his arch nemesis. So anyway, they get done with the counseling, and she can tell they're hiding something, and they get up to leave, and she's like, Wilson, can I speak to Vanessa alone for a moment? And, she starts talking to her, and Vanessa's like, oh, you think he's threatening me or something? Oh, how sweet. Like, I appreciate the concern. It's like, my husband is capable of many, many things. Hurting me is not one of them. Like, I am fine. I appreciate your concern. And so later on they're talking, he's like, I assume she talked to you, asked you if you were safe with me. Like, it was the logical question. And she's like, yes. And I told her I was, like, but I'm beginning to wonder, like, should I feel safe with you? And he's like, I would never hurt you, Vanessa. And so I guess at some point she cheated on him. Now, I don't know if that was in the Echo series. That's the only other Marvel series I haven't seen. So I don't know if it happened there, because that's the only place it could have happened if it was on screen anywhere, because it didn't happen in the Netflix series, to the best of my knowledge, and it didn't happen back in Hawkeye. So, but anyway, she cheated on him, and it's implied that he killed the guy, because even she doesn't know what happened to him. It's like, oh, I don't know. Like, I could have, but I didn't. And then the final shot is him, like, having dinner, and the guy's in, like, a jail cell next to him. He's like, please, Wilson, let me out. And Fisk is just sitting there eating his food, like, oh, delicious. Just ignoring the man as he's pleading for his life. So he didn't kill him. That's something. I guess that's an improvement, maybe. But, yeah. So, the fourth episode is a little fresher because I just watched it last night. But I think there was a little bit more to it on the character front. But the third episode was important, because we get to see Matt in action as a lawyer, which something we haven't seen a whole lot of. Also, he beats up the cops, and like, they know who he is, and they try to harass him, and like, they're going to shoot him at one point, and he's like, "Oh, that's enough of this." And just whoops the shit out of both of them, and So in the fourth episode, like, he's basically confronts the one cop and is like, so you killed the white tiger. And I think by the whole heartbeat thing, he could tell he was telling the truth when he said he didn't know anything about it. And the guy's like, counselor, like the bar association would look down upon assaulting 2 police officers. And he's like, yeah, well, what are you going to do about it? Like, because, if you do something about it, you're going to need to bring a lot more friends next time. And he's like, I'll be seeing it, counselor. But, yeah, and there's also like there's a little subplot where he was trying to get this other guy who's stole like some dessert kind of things, but he's got like a huge rap sheet. So there's no way they're going to give him probation. They initially want to give him 35 days. He talks him down to 10. And the other guy's like, 10? Like, that's not a gift. And like goes through like, I got booted off my help. So like I'm begging for money. I got to eat out of dumpsters. And, he's like, yeah, I made bad decisions, but like I have to live like an animal. Like, and I got hungry. Like I finally, I couldn't take it anymore. Wanted something good. So yeah, he stole it. It's one of those like, I really hope that's not what people are saying as far as the whole, like, the show's gone woke, because it wasn't. Like, that's a legitimate plight some people have. Like, I can feel, I can on the one hand say theft is wrong, but I can also feel sympathy for their situation. Like, the two thoughts are not mutually exclusive. And yeah, I felt bad for the guy, and so did Matt. He's like, yeah, you're right. Like, it's problems with the system. And so yeah, you can acknowledge that there's problems with the system. Like, there are. It's not perfect. It's made by man. It's never going to be perfect. But like, there's some fundamental problems with some of our systems. But yeah, anyway, that's just my little spiel on that. I'm not going to go down that road either, because that's a whole other, like, oh, here's why I think parts of our society are crumbling. I don't want to put that kind of negativity out there, though. I'll write a book on that or something. But anyway, probably put it under a pseudonym. But yeah, that's all I've got. So, like I said, I think the show's been pretty good so far. Not nearly as much action as the other one, but I think that's about to turn around because, again, I think Fisk is about to start cutting through the red tape the easy way. Matt's clearly about to become Daredevil again. We just had Frank Castle show up. He's not just going to sit idly by, I'm sure. If we're going to follow the comics, someone else does become the White Tiger. I think it is his niece becomes the White Tiger. So yeah, I think the action is about to heat up, or I really hope it is. But yeah, so like I said, pretty good. Definitely one of the better things on Disney Plus. Definitely better than a big chunk of the Star Wars shows that have been on there. Not Andor. Andor is fantastic. Here's hoping for season 2. Starts next month. But yeah, so definitely worth checking out in my opinion. Still good 4 episodes in. We'll see where things go. I think it has a funky release schedule if I remember right. One of these weeks we get 2 episodes, I think, and then 2 for the finale, I think. I read that online. Yet again, I'm sitting here like in my last video. I have a computer right in front of me. Let me just check that out real quick. Okay, so at least for the rest of the month, it looks like next week episodes 5 and 6 are going to be on next week. So yeah, there's going to be 9 episodes altogether. Looks like 9 episodes of season 1, or is this plot's been divided in 2 halves? So season 2 episodes. It looks like there is going to be a season 2, because the plot's going to be split in half. So yeah. I don't see how the other 3 are going to be released, but for sure episodes 5 and 6 are both going to be on next week. So it looks like whether I intend to or not, the next video is going to talk about 2 episodes. Maybe 3 if I fall behind. But hopefully it's because we're going to hit like a major action moment and some things are really going to move forward. Hopefully. But anyway, that's all I have to say about Daredevil Born Again for now. So let me know down in the comments if you folks have checked it out. What do you think? Are you going to check it out? You going to wait till it's all out to blitz through the whole thing? That's probably for the best. That's definitely what I did with the Daredevils, with the Netflix series, because they released them all at once, so I burned through them in a day or two. They seem to flow better that way, but having been alive in the 80s and 90s, I know how regular TV used to work, so the whole episodic thing, I can dig it. I can get behind it. But yeah. Anyway, that's all I've got, so let me know down in the comments, like I just said. Otherwise, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you liked what you watched here. Sharing and commenting are things that help us grow the channel. Obviously, we always appreciate subscribers as well, because that's the name of the game here on YouTube. But yeah, that's all I've got. So, in the words of, actually, I don't know if Stanley ever actually said this, but this is a slogan anyway. So, make mine Marvel.